No. Oh, you got to put your thing up.
I do.
Yeah. Welcome to the Mac. We're live, and we have so many people watching us right now. And Jake is preparing his
eagerly anticipating.
Yeah, we're eagerly anticipating. It's been a few weeks. I was away for a few weeks, and it's the summer. It's Friday the 13th of Friday. For those who are superstitious, we were just talking about go-go music, and here we are. Jake, put it to the stage.
Yes. Yes, thank you. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's happening. Oh my gosh, we are off. Thanks. We're back. The Mac is back. And part of this slide show anyway. Come on, man.
Oh, press reload. There we go.
Okay. So anyway, all right. So here, I'll just share my screen, or you see the rough life I'm living out here. So I wanted to share 2 viral moments with everybody because, of course, we could talk about, just a buffet of issues. We're not going to. I saw some marketing straight topics, and I wanted to start. So this starts with this thing I see on LinkedIn, but I have to give you some backstory. So people are dressing up like Pitbull, a lot. And Pitbull, here he's quoted, he's like, maybe out of, 30,000 people, you'll see 1,000 dressing up like me. But when he hits the UK, it's insane. And one thing he noticed that it's women are doing this. And he mentions how this is like a positive thing. He appreciates the efforts. There's a part where he was like, I can be bad, but it can be good too, and I was like, oh man. But it's really interesting. There's a lot of women out here dressed as Pitbull. So anyway, this goes to this post that I see on LinkedIn, and it's from Andrew Tyndall, who's constantly sharing interesting things. But Currys, which is basically like a Best Buy in the UK, owns some stores in like Finland, like Sweden, that kind of area. They just showed up to a Pitbull concert dressed as Pitbull, but they were giving away worldwide chargers. If we could, you could see them dancing, and it's ridiculous. But this whole thing is fantastic. The crowd is loving it. Everyone's getting free chargers. They're taking pictures. They're outside of this. They like managed to find this way to jump on something that was existing and make it authentic. And here they are handing out this type of charger. And I look over there on their site, and it's the top one. It's the most popular. And then they're at the Pitbull concert. They got a Pitbull mask. They're dancing around. And so I'm sitting there thinking, man, this is a viral moment. It's going crazy. It is being mentioned all over. And then I'm thinking, how much does this cost? It costs $640 to get one of these masks of Pitbull. So I'm thinking, there's no way a client is going to give me $640 to buy a mask. Already I'm thinking some of the folks that I might advise might not even go for this. $1,000, for the floor here. Everybody on the social team gets a worldwide costume, $12, so that's $120, $800. Plus, here's the social media channel over here. The director is revealing how she turns herself into Mr. Worldwide, who you can see her just like killing it right here. Here she is on the social. It only has like 165 likes. So anyway, this is a super viral moment. It seems like, there's a low cost here, but I thought this was fantastic. And I go to their site and I looked around for a while because I was like, what is Currys? What do they do? So they sell things, but here's their strategy. No one is better placed to help customers choose, afford, and enjoy technology throughout their lives. They didn't say buy. They didn't say sell or anything. It was like, we help you choose the things you want to enjoy throughout your life. So I just thought that was just dope. And I just was like, there's no reason they need to say that, but this is from the UK. And then that's one story of a viral moment that took charge of an authentic slice of life. And here we are in the second one. And I wanted to phrase this for a couple different reasons and bring it up. But so McDonald's put this tweet out, and it says, I don't usually do this, and I didn't run this by Brian from legal. Sorry, Brian. But I have something to say, not as McDonald's, but as the person behind the McDonald's account. They go on to say, whatever, I don't choose the menu and you can bring it back, the snack wrap. So anyway, so whatever, okay. This Shannon Gearhart, so she sees this and she jumps on it and she says something shifted when McDonald's social media manager went completely off script about the snack wrap. No brand guidelines, no strategic messaging, just genuine excitement. And it worked better than years of polished campaigns. And I'm like, well, I don't know, man. I mean, that's kind of, but people love this. They're feeling this. This is 800 likes. Shannon is getting, big traction on this. And I was thinking, how can I respond to this? Because that's not right. And so I'm going through this and I'm trying to piece what I'm thinking. How am I going to respond to this moment? So, over here it says, companies can do this, their teams feel secure enough. And my thought was, what happens when anyone who isn't McFrickin' Donald's takes this advice, which is well-meaning, but you go off script and you go off brand guidelines because McDonald's did it once. I'm just saying that's not an apple to apple comparison. So as you go down, you start seeing there's a ton of comments. Anish Kumar is like, if you're suggesting that this was not run by legal, you are either unaware of how large corporations work, boop, boop, boop. So I was like, you're not helping, bro. And this other one was like, I bet this was written by a committee. You're not helping, bro. Gregory Patton, that's cool. Still don't eat there. Bad for you. Like no one cares, man. Get out of here. Susan says the only thing good here is their breakfast. And I was like, that's right. But again, not related. But down on one of Shannon's comments, Andy says something and says, the key for this is for leaders to protect the rebels. And I was like, you know what? I agree with that. So I wanted to respond in a way that recognized my reality while recognizing hers. And I wanted to share.
Recognizing the reality of the Marketing Accountability Council. Did you run that by us?
No. Sorry, Brian. So here's what I said, and you'll see that it was an okay thing, because I said it is and might not be what you're mentioning, which in itself is fantastic and empowering advice. So I say, I don't think it might be, and then what you said is good. So already people are like, well, I'm not mad yet. We need to protect the rebels. So I said something that she reacted to. So I used her words with her to gain some consensus. And then I said, it's hard. And these were the questions I had, especially around a niche, like, you don't know how things work. Well, you don't know either, man. It's hard not having the numbers in front of us. If you're saying that this was the best performing campaign, I'm not sure if that's true. And a camera in the meetings where these ideas were created, or like rebelliously, I don't know. There's no camera there. No one will ever know. Everyone's saying that this was definitely passed by legal might be right, but they'll never find out. So it's a bit misinformed on the hard facts. So positioning this as off guidelines or best performing campaign, we don't know that. But your message of speaking straight in sales and ads is spot on. And I said that a while back, and I checked this morning and I got a like on it, and it's from Shannon. So I'm thinking that it's possible for us to have some helpful things if we just take a look at what people are doing and say, what's helpful here? Where can I find some common ground? You can respond to people in a way that makes it real, but it stays that this was staged virality of an authentic moment. Whereas, Curry's is out here dancing up like Pitbull and handing out chargers. It just seems like some people get the brief and some people talk about the brief. And so I wanted to just ask some questions. Is virality actually expensive in stage vibes anymore? Is that just what we can get? Because these two moments were staged. Kind of expensive, I don't know. Do stunts help or hurt, or is it all stunts? Like, should we just kind of stay stunt to stay in the mind? How do you disagree with people or without dismissing them? And how should we proceed? So I'll stop sharing.
That's complicated.
That's a lot of questions you asked there.
Yeah.
Thoughts about, let's take it from the beginning.
Could you help me understand the legend of Pitbull before we get started? So I don't really, I mean, I followed him maybe however many years ago, but his legend is Mr. Worldwide. That's what we call him.
Yes.
Okay. And, I think that, when push comes to shove, I always remember the example of like, instead of doing a digital campaign, if your audience is 10 or 20 people, let's say high spenders, and you send them a expensive gift like an iPad or something like that, it may make a pretty significant impression on them. Instead of trying to target them digitally, you send them something, and I think that could work. And I'm sure that the impression that was made from the Pitbull stunt was significant because it went, I'm sure they had a plan for that. I guess, right? They had to have, right?
That's what I'm saying. How much planning went into that, like seemingly viral moment? They were like, you just got to capture the moment. They had to plan for this one.
Of course, they had to buy the seats. Were they an official sponsor?
God. I mean, there's all this stuff that I'm just like, and so it's a great example of something that's, oh man, that's so creative, but damn, is that a good thing for everybody to see?
Well, we're in a world where I saw a stat that said that Substack, the problem of the era is that there's so much content now that it's a full-time job just to read all these people's content. Like, just think about all the people that are writing stuff and just think about how much attention it's getting. And just think about how bold you have to be with what you say in order to get people to just slightly pay attention to you. That does not add to a marketing conversion in any way. Do you think that this Pitbull stunt led to some pretty good affinity for that brand at the concert, right? I would hope so. I think it's a thing people would talk about, or no?
Well, they're getting a free power converter thingy, right? I mean, so that's always going to make some kind of impression. It's like you were saying with the iPad,
right?
I mean, you're always going to get some kind of memory because of something like that. Now, if it's like a cheap tchotchke item that you get in some canvas bag at a conference, like you're not going to think twice about it. But if it's something that was given to you personally that was perceived to have some value greater than a tchotchke, yeah, you will remember it.
I think for your ability to take advantage of this, you would have to be in touch with it and say, I know this is going to hit. I know people are dancing and looking like Pitbull. If we do this, we could do it too. But I'm thinking, like, imagine doing something at a tailgate, at a North Carolina game, dressing up as a Tar Heel and being like, hello, fellow fans.
Would you like is it hijacking? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I'm just thinking like this just looked like fun. And I just think somebody was like, let's go have fun and give away some chargers. Like, I think I'm like, man, I'm into that. But I don't think a lot of people are going to be savvy with this. I mean, the small to mediums, are they going to want to jump on?
It certainly makes me wonder, as someone with a background in sports and event marketing, it makes me wonder if agencies are, I mean, it used to be that you would put a lot of research into deciding what you're going to do. Maybe now it's just everyone gets in a room and they just sort of come up with ideas and they haven't asked their friends a few things about what they think about it. And there isn't the overhead that goes into the thinking. And maybe that Pitbull thing was just someone who saw it and they just brought it up and everyone else went, okay, that sounds cool. Let's do it. I mean, and then we just execute on it.
I've been in those rooms too, where somebody's like, word, let's go. Very, very rarely. And also scarily when it happens. The scariest thing somebody can say is, let's do it. You're like, oh my God. Now we have to do it. Moni, what are you thinking?
The more you guys talk about it, the more I'm actually applauding it. I'm applauding the thinking outside the box, taking the risk, like you said. I mean, we get on these companies for being so boring and mundane and doing the same old thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It's like when you actually step outside the box and take a risk, kudos to you. Like you said, it's just like I feel like it's the yes and somebody didn't poo poo it and try to shit all over it. They were like, it's a good idea. How do we make this work? What do you got? Let's get some ball caps and some fucking pit bulls. And I'm like, well, let's go. Like that's
Well,
dope.
and there's something about this corniness that I noticed in like Ted Lasso. It's like the UK production values is like mad corny. Like if you watch Doctor Who, it's a corny show. Like these, but they can't be. Are they participating? Are they actually in? And so there's something like everyone's like, oh, that's embarrassing. I've seen a ton of embarrassing musicals come out of English, spots, that everyone's like, ugh, and they share it, but you shared it. And then I'm watching these people dance and sing, and it's almost like you got to find out that cringe. I posted early that cringe is in your head. The cringe is in your head.
And the name of the brand was, you said it was Curry's?
Curry's.
Curry's?
So, yeah.
So
Never heard of it.
what's interesting when you show the slide about like their brand statement,
Yes.
whenever you do something like that, whenever there's a spend on any kind of promotional effort, an ad or a promotional item, all the questions are about conversion, right? How are you tracking that? And I would imagine that just the activity in and of itself was a branding exercise and was authentic to their brand, because they're not telling you, like you said, it's not saying buying something right away. We're just setting ourselves up to be this cool brand that you want to be a part of in your life somehow, right? We want to be a friend.
I think they were more intelligent than that, because there's pickup press here. So that is also a goal. So it's like they created, which a lot of brands miss, which is what's genius about what they did, is they created the story. There's a story there. So there's something to then be viral about, right? So it's like, there's a bunch of pit bulls, like freaking out a thing. That's a story. A lot of people miss that part. So there's a lot of like actually ingenious things when you uncover the layers here that they've done that were super smart.
There's two things I want to mention that I picked up this week and posted about. One was the out of touch reveal of the Kind Bar new logo that happened back in May that looked exactly like the old Kind Bar logo. And they made it into a very celebratory.
Oh man!
They made it into we've talked about the Kind Bar before. They made it into a very celebratory comment that's like, and we're revealing our brand new logo, and it's like, and then all the comments below it were like, so what exactly changed? And then they started talking about how Mars bought it and they changed the ingredients, and they said, oh, shrinkflation. And all the comments shitted on Kind because it was so out of touch and tone deaf. When marketers think about traditional branding, and it happens all the time, where you look at these logos that were like, oh, we're launching our new logo and it has a more modern font. You sound ridiculous. Like if you add a new modern font and you're still delivering a substandard product, nothing matters, right? The second thing that I saw is this Bloomberg post about forced happiness, or I forgot what it was called, but it was like this ridiculous.
Ooh, I think I have a spicy take on that, but tell me.
Yeah, but I mean, so I saw this post.
I think that is.
Yeah, like and they were talking about just this idea that at Starbucks they're making the baristas write these self-affirming messages. And they were talking about how Tiffany's has this joy blog where you just have to share joyful moments, and the employees are just pissed off about this because the Starbucks people are just angry, like, and so and this sort of infectious joy is, even when it's not real, is making its way into all these different things.
When we got a Instacart order last week, and on the top of the yogurt container was a sticky note that said "Have a nice day" with a smiley face on it.
I love that.
Was that sincere, or was that from them?
That's the rub, right? If it was sincere, you're like, that's really cool. But if it was some corporate overlord, order
Forcing your hand. Yeah, they're bloody.
I've never met an Instacart person that would do that. But there are some special people that would do that.
Here's one thing that I experienced lately, and I don't know if I talked about this. I got DoorDash, and then the DoorDash thing showed up, and attached, stapled to it, was a little printout from the delivery driver, and it was like, here's a couple places that have good Italian food. Here's a couple places that have this. Here's some candy. I just wanted to say thank you. And it was this really sweet thing that this lady attaches to all her orders. And she doesn't have to do any of these things. But I thought that it was like, damn, that has never happened on any of these things, but somebody showing an initiative to say, here's some cool things to do with the kids around like the neighborhood. It was like a really helpful little thing. And I was like, is this initiative? This is amazing. That's an example of something that I was like, I want people to go beyond those things. I used to be extra in my customer service thing. I was always extra with the clients or the people that I'm making. I worked at Starbucks. I work at Einstein's. I've made all these things, and I was always extra. And everyone was like, thank you. And some people would be annoyed, and I'd be like, well, whatever, man, it isn't for you. But that was my job, and I loved connecting with people.
That was your personal initiative.
But I guess that's just me. But if somebody had a knife to me and said, keep it up.
Pride like that. And I think that what you experienced was probably pride of ownership. And I would imagine
it could have been. We don't know.
I don't know. We'd have to look it up. We have to look up the personality of this brand, Curry's. But when I was flying JetBlue down to Barbados, the woman was like doing the cha-cha slide that the flight attendant lead, and she sang "Happy Birthday" the Stevie Wonder way. She did her little shtick, and she obviously does it on every flight. She wasn't doing it the whole flight, but it's pretty clear to me that there was no manual saying that you have to behave this way, but people were clapping and enjoying and heading to an island. Like,
it's the Southwest model. Like, that's been done. And I think like the other thing is, like, if it were manufactured, so what? You know what I mean? Like, would you rather than be an asshole to you? Like, I feel like it's just basic customer service. Like, try to be like a little bit joyous. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the other person is a curmudgeon on the end, okay. But it's like, it's going to make more people come in if you spread a little bit of like false happiness. I'll say.
And am I? Well, I don't know what kind of drugs I've been doing, but I remember when we passed around Chick-fil-A's approach to customer service, like it was our heroin, and we were all shooting it, mainlining it, freebasing it. Like, can you believe what they're doing? All of this for their customers, And so, what did you do with that information? You were like, we just don't really have the budget for it. I mean, that's the thing. And then notice what people are saying. Don't say thank you to the ChatGPT. What I think is quiet quitting. Everyone's like, what's quiet quitting? Quiet quitting. It was just people doing their job, but we came up with a word for people. The fuck they do. And what's this new job? Manufactured joy. What the fuck? It's a new word for us to hate what we're doing, and then for somebody to be nice to me. That's what I. Okay, slow the fuck down. Are you quiet quitting on me, or is this manufactured joy just another fucking binary for us to rip each other to shred? When somebody wants to be nice to you, be thankful. And if somebody tells you to be nice at your job, be grateful. Because you have a job. There are people out here that would love to say whatever script you have. That gladly. I remember getting an Italian gelato in a train station once in Naples. And the grown men working there had tiny paper hats on their heads. All of them had tiny paper hats on their heads. And I was like, y'all look like idiots. But they were like, Mangiarno, who cares? I'm just here doing my job. Do you think I care? And it's like, Do you think I care about this tiny paper hat on my head? And Americans are like, you're not going to tell me what to wear. I'm not going to wear. You're not going to
Mhm.
tell me. You're going to tell me how to, and we're like, just do a goddamn job and be excellent to each other. And if you haven't, and it's not related to you doing it better, but you complaining more, you,
Yeah, no, that's
Maybe that's
totally.
the thing with the pit bull. It's like we have to fake it until we make it. Like we're such a curmudgeonly society. We have to fake it till we make it. You know.
But I think there's authenticity there with that brand statement. Is they're not, like I said, they're not doing it because they're anal about conversions. Like they may have.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even. I mean, it would be really interesting to know if there is any attempt to track any conversion activity from that, or if they really are just doing it because this is our brand, this authenticates us, we're going to get attention for this, this establishes who we are, reinforces who we are, and that's our strategy, right? I mean, that could be very well it.
Or they're aware or they're smart enough to know that the conversion isn't the win. Like that's
Mm,
also false. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? So it's like they're smart enough to know like the real win here is the press. The real win is the viral moment that no one heard of us before and now we have it. That's what we're really trying to
The real
accomplish.
win
We're not caught up
might
in getting a bunch of fucking clicks.
Great
well,
point. Great point.
if they execute well, we all know the way people shop for electronics, and at the end of the day,
Price.
it's price. So if they show up in the right places and they deliver great customer service and they have a competitive price, and there's you go in the store and you feel good, and they're not going to hassle you if you want to return something. That plus the Pitbull campaign is winning.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just a Pitbull campaign is not enough. But then, can we talk about the McDonald's thing?
Yes.
What you have to say.
Mhm.
I thought that was cool. And then I don't know, maybe my take was a little aggressive because I was like, if a small to medium sized business tries to do this, it's not going to go off the way you think it.
They do it all the time. But that's out of a lack of sophistication and appreciation for marketing. I
Sure.
mean, right? There's and at the end of the day, for the small and medium-sized businesses, it's what is the value of a very rigid brand identity? Do you really need a style guide? Do you really need to stick with the same font?
Oh, you're dicing. Are you on the edge right now, Jay? You are on the edge,
Well,
mister.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, for us, like as the Mac, I'm not going to be so rigid about what font we use because I think that the tone and personality comes out through the lens. When Moni posts, it's slightly different than when you post than when I post.
Yeah, but see, our product is content. These are different things. If we're
They're
talking,
different things, but
if you're selling fast goods, like you better have some memorable stuff.
yeah, and identity, right? Yes.
Yeah. But the small to mediums, I mean, when I see a small business do a little bit extra on those things, I'm snapping my fingers because, like, that's amazing. You thought of 2, 3 things more than the normal, which is like, I got a website, cool. There's another layer. I got that. There's another layer on that. And it's those people that are, it's like you go to a person's house and there's art on the wall or there's posters on the wall. Well, there's illustrations on the wall, aren't there? And those are curtains or it's a cut up t-shirt. It's still curtains, isn't it? It covers the window. And you're like, sort of. So it's like some of these things are not quite the same. But McDonald's, and us giving advice about empowering communications through it.
What was the message that wasn't authorized? I wasn't able to read it.
Oh, let me read it to you now because the McDonald's social media manager doesn't do this. I once posted social media managers don't control the menu. As much as I hated admitting at the time, it's true. I even got a plaque made of it put on my desk. I also don't control the Bitcoin price, even though you think the McRib is responsible. But I digress. Yes, I could post about the snack wrap, tease you with tweets like bring back blank, knowing exactly what you'd say, and even manifest for its return, but I couldn't bring it back. You know who could bring it back? You. End and tweet. And somebody read that and they were like,
Are people
people
really
are authentically talking from McDonald's to your soul. Here's how it works, you know, and you're like, not quite that.
I read
Moni, she's got something.
yeah, what do you have?
I appreciate the fact, and this is one of the things that I teach, is like it's a person talking to people. So one of the things, it's not like corporate statement or like
I hear
something
that.
you can tell is just shill. So yes, it still sounds cheesy and kind of inauthentic, but still, it's at least the very least, it's like this is me, a person, a human, making a statement to other humans, and I got to give them credit for that.
And you got to give it, but what if somebody's saying this is me making a thing, but I actually had this passed by legal, so I actually didn't say this. I mean, it's not that that's important, but it's the tone of it. But now someone is saying, "Hey, I shouldn't have done this, but I'm going to do it anyway." We're kind of. I think it's dicey. I think it's a little dicey.
And what is the product that is in question again? Snack
Wrap. Why
Wrap.
don't you know this?
Come on, man.
I mean,
You don't fill your veins with freaking barbecue sauce.
But let me just see if I
So
can.
are snack wrap sales down and they're trying to increase them? Is that what's going on?
I mean, already we're a part of this ethos that we're not. There's lore here. There's McDonald's lore that we're missing.
Well, there is McDonald's lore. The one post that I got 7.4 million views on.
Talk about it, Jay.
Yeah, was me making fun of McDonald's apples, and people jumped on that like crazy.
I know. They're not great.
They're not great.
Pathetic.
Yeah, but
you mean like McDonald's sells apples like
they
you would
sell
get
apples, but they
For
were
the
really
babies.
small and they tasted like soap.
They're Granny Smith apples, and they're always like bruised and shitty, and it's just
Yeah.
pre-packed.
Or they're like sanitized.
People have points of view, but at the same time, so is the mixed snack wrap something? So you're saying that people are obsessed with that and they go there all the time for that, or is this not the
I
case?
think it's a temporary menu item like the McRib.
Yeah, but I had the McRib, and the McRib was absolutely disgusting. It
It's
was
gross. It's so nasty.
That's
I'm a
popular,
McRib guy
isn't it?
if I have to.
Yeah, I had
That's
it. but
popular, isn't it?
Huh?
Yeah, it's
Isn't it popular? Like, isn't it like
It
something?
might be popular, but it's like a fake rib. It's like
Yeah.
they take some
It's
bad
so
pieces
gross.
of pork and just
It's so
it tasted
questionable.
microwaved. It was.
So good, so good.
Did you hear that McDonald's sales are down? I read an article
Yes.
that's due to the use of Ozempic.
So but here's another thing like this.
Seriously?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, there's one thing there, but there's a bunch of reasons for that.
but in
statement.
that thing, it said that authentic tweet performed better than any of their campaigns in a long time. And you're like,
that doesn't surprise me, though. Again,
but is that true? We don't.
what other camp? I mean, again, what in the last like decade, what stood out to you from the McDonald's campaign? Like,
I know, but
It's just a jingle.
This only came through. Yes, that's right, actually.
well,
Did
I
it
mean, they
get-
did who's the Ice Spice? I think they got popping with the Ice Spice, like Value Meal one or whatever. That kind of stands out. But
Right.
I'm like, and if by campaign, do they mean social media only?
That's what I'm saying. There's so
Okay.
many things that you
Okay.
could.
And was it something that got like a lot of share? What do they call it? Earned sharing or earned media?
Mm.
Right,
was it
exactly.
something that other
Passed
people
around.
bought
Right.
and said like, "Oh my God, look at this! You have to see this."
Or
McDonald's
this is
social-
stupid because a lot of like impressions and people commenting and saying this is dumb as hell, and it's like that was
Stupid.
popular because I gotta click. It's like,
It's
Kind of
Right.
turning the
30%
good
people
all
laughing.
publicity is good publicity on its head,
Exactly.
right?
And there's
Exactly.
that. Well, then even then, you're like, it's okay that I'm a clown. Like,
Doesn't McDonald's have a clown?
hey,
We do.
Ronald McDonald.
What do you do?
They should bring him back. I mean, so okay. So let's go back to the whole wacky ass Nutter Butter stuff, which like
Lore.
yeah. Okay, so then. So what does this all add up to? I'm confused. Like, how is that your big question? Like, how do you advise a brand to just go random because you can't get attention using traditional channels and methods?
Well, I mean, I think a missing piece is you saying the sales are down because health trends are trending differently, and like
and people don't want to spend $15. I went to McDonald's last night with my son. He got a Big Mac, some McNuggets, and a couple drinks, and maybe 2 Big Macs. It was $40.
That's
Yeah.
insanity.
What?
See,
No.
that's why their sales are down. That's wild. That's when you can go to freaking
No.
Applebee's and get the same 2 meals for cheaper than that.
And that's why that's why
Chili's, the Chili's story that Jay did was all about
Right.
it. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
you've basically blown your opportunity. McDonald's, Chili's is taking advantage, and its
The-
price is a
I mean,
large portion.
that's what happens. That's what happens. Like, these brands, like, I think that this, I'm working on my next MarTech article. And I always say this, marketing is the 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. But we as marketers are basically only in charge of the promotion P.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of this adds up to the same thing, which is like, we're doing our best with what we have. And the weight of the brand is not based on how popular that mixed snack wrap thing. It's based on the fact that if someone goes to that store and they're like, I can't afford this, and it's freaking McDonald's, they're going to have a bad taste in their mouth, right?
I think. Oh, sorry, Michael. Go ahead.
Have you guys been to In-N-Out Burger?
Yes.
Yes.
So I was
No,
at
actually, I haven't. I lied. I hear about it all the time.
I was at In-N-Out Burger when I was in California, and it's just remarkable how the menu is exactly the same as it was the first time that I went into one in the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's changed is the prices. Everything else is exactly the same, and there's no gimmicks involved. It's just it's like the New York Yankees. It's like we don't need to change our uniform. We don't need to change our
They
logo.
are allowed to have beards now.
What's that?
They are allowed to have beards and facial hair this year.
Yes. But that doesn't change the uniform.
Yeah.
So, and McDonald's has been like, do they even sell salads anymore? I don't know. The last time I went to a McDonald's, I think, was at an airport several years ago. Like, I don't even know.
I think
Yeah,
I
they sell
don't know.
salads.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Still
shit
remarkably
that's
product.
what you
unhealthy, but yeah.
call. Yeah, that's what you call salad.
shit
But
pro-
I
um,
I
yeah.
think the point is all of these talks are about the P. We're talking about the promotion. We're talking about promotions. This is promotions.
But authenticity also. I mean, look at Curry's and In-N-Out Burger. They're like, this is who we are. We're going to stay who we are.
and
We know who we are.
And notice that McDonald's has to trade on the fact that I'm actually two-way mirror transparency. Like, you can see who I am, but you're looking right at your face when you're doing this to me. So it's like Curry's isn't doing that, or they're allowing themselves to have a remove where they don't need to like be embarrassed by what they see. And I think McDonald's might be embarrassed a little bit, and then therefore all we talk about is promotions. We just talk about the promotions. Like, did it work? Is the price good? Is the production like, what's even going on with the product?
And here's another thing just to throw into the mix. I think Moni's point about like, this is so inauthentic. Like, you can just like it just smells inauthentic. It feels inauthentic. Could that potentially be a product of McDonald's changing its brand and doing different things all the time, where you've learned not to trust it? And so no matter what you do to try to change your brand, anyone who knows about it, it's already like, these guys can't be trusted.
Yeah, I mean, also my thought too is that, is it really fair to compare McDonald's? They're coming from the market leader position, right? You act different, right? Your strategy is different. Whereas now, if you're In-N-Out, you got some more leeway. You don't got to worry about defending your number one. You didn't make $1 trillion, and now you got to stay making $1 trillion. You can kind of like hang out where you're at.
You're privately held too.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Where McDonald's is like, holy shit, we about to take a 20% hit. We got a stock price. We got this, that, the other thing. America, exactly.
Yeah, McDonald's could lose they're losing their relevance right before our eyes.
It's crazy.
Maybe you don't know. I mean, in the heartland, people are still doing it.
They won't disappear, but I
More
agree with the relevancy, man.
competition.
My first job was McDonald's. At 11:45 in the morning, the line's out the door every freaking day. I don't think that's happening right now at
Yeah,
McDonald's.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. It's a different era because now you have all these different options. It's not just burgers. You got all these. There's 7 places that have chicken. Then you also have the the smash burger trend, which McDonald's isn't even participating in.
All that.
And then you have you have all this different variety that's accessibly priced. You want some lo mein, you could pay the same as McDonald's. You want some sushi, you can get it. Well, that's not going to be such good sushi, but you get my point. You want some pho, you get some pho.
You know what?
Right.
And I think McDonald's, they came down to us through a tweet saying, I'm just like you. And Curry's came down with us and went to the Pitbull concert with us and went wild and gave us a free charger. I'm not saying that these are apples to apples, but it's very interesting. Like, I'm just like you said in a tweet, or we're out here with you. These could be, McDonald's could have easily done some Pitbull thing. This could have been their moment, or you know what I mean? Like anybody now can do a Pitbull thing. Please don't do this. Let's just have this happen.
Let's talk about social media influencers for a bit. Have you ever seen the idea that someone goes viral for some very particular reason, and then everything they post after that is based on that one moment of virality?
That's never happened.
Never quite the
Trying to
same.
chase
It's never quite the
Or
same.
Cash Me Outside. How about that? Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
Who else do we have?
Yeah, well, Hawk Tuah was the biggest. What a horrible downfall. She was.
That flame out was legendary.
I didn't even pay attention to
But
it.
no one is ever able to replicate that genuine moment of.
Genuine. You said the G word, man. Don't even.
She was.
I don't even
genuinely
know if
Hawk
they're
Tuah.
genuine. I mean,
That's
anybody
the
heard
T
about
word.
the
It
Liver
was-
King? Do you see the Liver King documentary on Netflix?
No,
He's
no.
another guy. So like his whole thing is like living primal, and like he's got like this ridiculous 6-pack, and like he's like,
Yes.
I eat liver and I eat all this
Yes.
like pig
I
and
have seen.
whatever. So like but that thing was like manufactured. You know what I mean? Like he went to like a agency or whatever, and they came up with that they helped him mold that whole shtick and whatnot. So it's like I don't know if Hawk Tuah is as genuinely viral as maybe we think it is. to
And
be
it
honest.
probably
Are
works
you
the other
serious?
way.
I believe that was just some random girl at a.
Oh no! It isn't that those things aren't, but what spins off of it
It
has
spins
to
all.
do-
The girl had a podcast.
She had a
Like,
podcast, but she also had
Podcast.
some sort of like Bitcoin scheme where
that took her
She
down.
she
got
lost a lot of money.
pulled.
Yeah, it's sort of yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so who
It's
knows?
just, as quickly as those things happen, like it happens so lightning fast that it's like, I just, I don't know.
And then all these people transcend on her and say, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And then quickly she has a book, she has a this, she has a that. But really, she was just a flash in the pan. Like she doesn't have enough presence she just went back to being a bartender, I think.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
one hit wonders happen every day. I mean,
Well, one hit wonders happen every day, but like, like I don't think that going viral, like let's imagine one of our posts like really made it big. What does that even mean today?
Mhm.
I think you just said it's like a flash.
It's a
Yeah.
flash. Let's say the New York Times covered us. Does that mean that it's going to lead to so many more members or whatever? Are we ready for that? I mean, I actually think that the media environment is so damn fragmented these days that I think small is the new big, and I think that I don't know. I mean, people can rise above, but what does rising above actually mean?
It depends on the person. That doesn't depend on anything else,
Think
right?
so.
Like I think of reality stars. It's like,
I just was there, Moni.
yeah, it's like it's whatever you make of it. If I still remember you, it's because you freaking took advantage of that opportunity.
Right.
Working
And
with
There are
then,
somebody
plenty of
else.
people
so
that, yeah.
Moni, you brought up something really interesting because I was thinking of reality stars, and I was like, we skipped over the fact that we were aware. And I think I got on the American Funniest Home Videos. Like
Mm-hmm.
America's Funniest Home Videos, they were genuine clips that were funny people had. And then there started to be a time where people were creating clips to show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I noticed it when the families were getting their thing and be like, and here's the Sandersons with I just spilled, whatever. And then they're like, when the camera goes through them and then the mom's like making them clap, and they're like, they didn't look right. But then slowly people started to get more excited to be there. And then you're like, you could see it on Nickelodeon too. I was like, this kid knows he's on a fucking show. Or
Mm-hmm.
the kid seems to be in the moment. And then I think with reality, we were like, there's some people who are aware that there's a camera always, and you cannot be not aware of that, but
Mm-hmm.
play with that. Well, they just call those people actors, but we've found people who have that gift. And I think we skipped over the fact that we're all required to be scene ready actors, compelling reads, good characters. Like we all have to be that now. And the stress is too intense. And if somebody gets that one shot, they get eaten up like 6 Corey Feldmans in 30 seconds because they have no skills on how to deal with this. None of us do.
I mean, you're making a good point to keep it to the kind of reality metaphor, if we can keep it going, is that like now we're at the stage of reality TV where like the audience needs the participants to be aware that they're on a reality show. It's like you should come in with a storyline. Like you can't be boring. Like create some drama. What are you doing?
Housewives franchise is built. The Real Housewives franchise is totally. It's scripted like Larry David scripts a curve.
There's a ton of writers there. Moni just
Yes.
said some dope shit. The audience knows
right.
that the camera. So the camera isn't
Everybody's
on the
aware.
players looking back at you.
I was
Right.
I was watching a interview with Justine Bateman last week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you, Jake? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, she's all over this moment. I know her stance on AI, her stance on.
So she was
like-
saying that the next evolution of movies and the movie industry is people either writing their own scripts or sharing stuff about them and having scripts written about them, uploading pictures of themselves and starring in their own movies. Like you don't need actors anymore. Like you are the actor. You're the main character in the thing.
Did you just describe dreams? I think you just described.
I thought you just described YouTube.
I thought, you know what I mean? But it's kind of crazy. Like they're giving us our reality and giving it back to us in a product. Like, could you imagine yourself in any scenario? Like, yeah, bitch, if you just dream about some shit. And then you're like, if you remember where you are, wow, I was in an opera house being chased by my grandma with a knife. Well, now you don't have to worry about that. You can live it again. Have we seen Total Recall? The only thing people took away from that is I think we can make a woman with 3 boobs. Ugh. There were other lessons that we should have taken away. The Running Man, too. I was thinking about The Running Man. I was like, boy, are we on The Running Man right now. You remember that on Schwarzenegger? Anybody?
Vaguely.
Schwarzenegger. I'm gonna write it up then. Oh,
you can star in it, Jake.
I think I'm in it, and I'm just like super not into it. And they're like, "Run!" and I'm like, just gonna sit down.
Yeah, I think also kind of to this back to the McDonald's thing is that
Right, landed.
I don't know if the audience isn't so much as like offended by the inauthenticity. If it's like if they're in on it, like don't treat them like they're stupid. You know what I mean? It's like we have a super savvy. I think the audience is more savvy than ever when it comes to digital. So as long as they're in on it, they're good. But if like don't try to play me, like that's when it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, I was just having a conversation with Becca this week about an idea that I had for positioning something in a product, and it was it was kind of like a, no, I'm not interested in having this great thing that you're offering me right now.
Oh,
She's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
Don't do that. People don't like sarcasm in their no thank you offering.
Comms, right.
Like, no, like can't do that. It's like, okay, well, talk about people like onto it and like seeing through your bullshit, right? I mean, that's like kind of the epitome of it.
It could work I mean, it's sort of like people with, it's like somebody who acts like a popular character to get you involved with them. Like, I'm going to do an impression of everybody that everybody knows me, but then when you have to meet this person and who they are not anything other than an impression of what they were thinking. They wanted you to feel. And so it's like, we've heard too many times these whack marketing messages. So now we know, see the mask, we're seeing the seams, we're looking for zippers. You're like, come on, but does it make us less excitable as a crowd? I mean, just what I was thinking, like Curry's, those people in London are like, good day, mate, fucking loving it, and we're here just like, this doesn't, whatever we're doing, bro. Like, it's like, and shit is tight here. I'm saying tight moments here in the politics. Like, this is rough and it's manufactured and it's gearing up and settling down. And, maybe we're a little cagey in this regard, and, we're worried about our comms in this regard, So let's move to Europe because we can have so much fun and dance around.
Barbados, hello.
Okay, let's go.
I'm there.
It's out. Peace.
There.
We're
So-
leaving.
So we have a record. We have 4 live viewers watching this.
What's up, guys? Welcome.
Oh,
Hey,
what up?
welcome to the show.
Give me some context.
Yes. Oh, now it sounds too.
See what you did? You
Yeah.
scared him away, Jay. Just
But,
keep talking.
Just don't,
Golly, bro.
pretend they're
No,
not
don't
there.
notice that. But what I wanted to say for the benefit of our viewers and the audience at large. So, as experienced marketers in this field, what is our lesson? What does this all add up to? What are some tips that we, as the Marketing Accountability Council, can deliver based on this reality, which isn't just these 2 examples that you showed?
No.
Marketing is seeming to be either stage random or random. I don't know, but I do know what is the state of marketing right now that has led to this, and what is a marketer to do about this?
So a couple tight takeaways. That's what you're asking.
I want a
for.
tight
Okay.
takeaway.
Yeah, we're at time.
Yeah.
I think that on the positive, I'm going to give, what's it, Curry's? Is that the name? I will give applause to Curry's for one, thinking outside the box. I think that, like, I would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting and how that went, and having the courage to run with something that's super off the wall. Kudos to them. I think there's a lesson there in that. And I'm going to give McDonald's credit for, again, writing from a personal standpoint. I think that's also a takeaway a lot of businesses can do, right from a person, and like have some real personality. Stop trying to be so professional and it's blah, it's boring. Stop it. So I'll give them kudos for that.
Nice. Well done. Here's my takeaways. I think reacting to the moment. We all want to react to the moment. And I think Curry's reacted to the moment and went with the motion of the crowd. And then maybe the way Shannon responded to McDonald's was she reacted to a moment that she was having with the content. And I think, like, if you are going to have a takeaway, have it be part of the crowd, have it be emotion that goes with what's happening. And if you have an opportunity to disagree with somebody, give them a chance, give them flowers, tell people that you see them, because now is not the time to disagree with everyone. Now is the time to see if there are good and bad things that are happening. So good chances of reacting to the reason in the moment. So 2 good examples, also kudos.
2 good things could happen.
Yeah, if you've been in marriage counseling, 2 things can be true at once.
Yeah, that's the
True.
DDT way. So You know who I want to try and get on the next or one of the next episodes of our reality check is I've interacted with this woman named Barry Tippett, who is she was the head of social at Auntie Anne's and Jamba Juice, and now she is head of social at Sweet Green.
Okay.
And, you should look her up on LinkedIn. She, you know, I don't know if she's posting as much. She's very funny, very witty.
Has to be.
And she takes her whole personality to the office, and also like she shows how she's capturing these salads and all this stuff.
That would be great.
But you know, the difference between what she does as a social media manager versus what I did back in the day is that she's using her iPhone, right? And so,
Right.
do you remember the days when I remember the days back in corporate where you would have to hire, a video production firm, and they would need to, you would pay $50,000 for a 5-minute video or more. And there would be editing, and it would take 2 to 4 weeks, just to get the edits back, and then you post it up, and it's like, now we're in an era where you could do that all with CapCut. I even saw MSNBC using CapCut to edit their videos. So my message here is that the barrier to entry is not based on the tools you have. It's not even based on the skills you have. You don't need to be a professional video editor to use these tools. It's based on your ability to break through and achieve the goal of the brief.
Yeah.
That also is but that's a talent in
Yes,
itself,
of course.
right?
Oh,
Like
for
that,
sure.
that's the talent we're missing. Like I said, but the storytelling, like people who break through are actually really good storytellers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's the skill that's being missed here.
And in mediums, because everyone says tell a story. Well, it's not with words. It could
Correct.
be with music. It could be
That's
with
right.
colors. It could be with feelings. It could be with the way you organize a boring nurture stream.
Yes.
Right.
Like, it could be real boring shit too, but don't think that you need to start once upon a time. You need to have something unfold in people's brains that's like a story.
Right.
If you can do that with video, then do it. Music, do it. Copy, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that I'll mention is that, there's this, I don't know whether this Pitbull thing is a part of a campaign. I don't know if the McDonald's thing is part of a campaign. But I also know that there's a difference between a campaign and a movement. Movement is something bigger, more significant than a campaign. Many campaigns could lead to a moment. So movement. So there's the moment, which I think these things were. But if you're able to tie together several moments that don't have to exactly look alike. So they could do the Pitbull thing at one show. They could do another thing at another show. They could take this to a park, and it could be different but feel the same. Then it pieces together to something.
How about a follow-up for next week's meeting? I'll get in contact with Andrew and learn, because he was like, Curry's social team's killing it again. He said again. So they must have a track record of doing this. So you go find the Sweet Greens person. We'll find the Curry's person, and we'll meet together and have some sweet.
And then we'll toss our salads next.
Whoa! Hey, whoa!
Jesus Christ.
That was my line.
Sorry.
Now we're leaving. Okay.
We're ending with the class. That's a mic drop moment. Enjoy your weekends, everyone.
Good, great conversation. That was awesome.
Yes, good job.
Yeah.
Thanks for keeping it positive.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.